I never thought I'd be the kind of person to post on Reddit, but I honestly don't know if I'm losing my mind or if everyone around me is gaslighting me. For context, I'm 26 and I've been with my girlfriend for a little over 3 years. We don't live together, but we're basically always at each other's places. I thought things were solid. Not perfect, but stable, or at least that's what I thought. About 2 months ago, she started acting different. Not in a dramatic way. No big fights, no obvious red flags, just subtle stuff. She stopped texting first. Her replies got shorter. She'd read my messages and respond hours later with something dry like, lol, or yeah. At first I told myself I was overthinking it. People get busy. Life happens. But then the little things started stacking up. She stopped inviting me out with her friends. When I asked what she was doing on weekends, she'd say nothing much, but somehow always be unavailable. When I tried to talk about it, she'd say I was being too sensitive or making problems out of nothing. Here's where it gets weird. One night, she fell asleep while we were watching a movie at her place. Her phone was on the table, face down. It buzzed, then buzzed again and again. I wasn't snooping, I swear. I just glanced because it kept vibrating nonstop. The notification was from a name I didn't recognize. Just a first name. No emoji, no context. And the preview said, "Did you get home safe?" That hit me wrong immediately. She woke up a few minutes later, grabbed her phone, saw the screen, and her entire mood changed. She didn't say anything, just turned it off and put it under her pillow. I asked her, casually, "Who was that?" She laughed. Like, actually laughed. And said, "Oh my God, relax. It's just a coworker." Something about the way she said it didn't sit right with me. ... I didn't push it that night. But from that moment on, I couldn't shake the feeling that I was missing something important. And then, a week later, I accidentally found out something that made everything worse. A week after that night, she told me she was going out for drinks with just the girls. Normally, I wouldn't care. But something about the way she said it felt rehearsed. Like she'd already prepared the answer in case I asked questions. I didn't say anything. I just said, "Cool, have fun." That night, around midnight, I was scrolling Instagram and saw a story from one of her friends. Nothing crazy, just a group shot at a bar. But standing right next to my girlfriend was the same guy whose name I'd seen pop up on her phone. Same face, same haircut, same stupid jacket. My stomach dropped. I waited. I didn't text her. I didn't react to the story. I just watched it disappear after 24 hours like it never existed. The next morning, she texted me like everything was normal. "Good morning," I replied. "How was last night?" She said, "It was fun. Just us girls catching up." That's when I knew she was lying to my face. I sent her the screenshot of the Instagram story. No caption, no explanation. Just the image. She didn't reply for almost an hour. When she finally did, she said, "Why are you stalking my friends?" That's when the argument started. I told her I didn't care that there was a guy there. I cared that she lied. She immediately flipped it on me, saying I was insecure, controlling, and looking for problems. Then she said something that still messes with my head. "If you trusted me, this wouldn't even be an issue." I apologized. Even though I didn't fully understand why, I just didn't want to fight. But after that night, I started noticing patterns. She'd hide her phone when texting. She started taking calls in another room. If I walked in, she'd suddenly end the call. And the weirdest part, she became nicer. Too nice. Compliments out of nowhere. Random "I love you" texts. Sudden affection after weeks of distance. It felt like guilt. A few days later, she asked me if I trusted her. I said yes. She smiled and said, "Good, because I don't want secrets between us." That same night, I found out she'd been lying to me for months. 2 nights after that conversation, she went to take a shower and left her laptop open on the bed. She always used it for work, and I wasn't even thinking about it. Until a message notification popped up in the corner of the screen. Same name. I froze. I told myself not to touch it. I really did. But then another message came in. "You still coming over tonight?" My hands started shaking. I know people are going to judge me for this, but in that moment, I felt like I needed to know if I was crazy or not. I clicked the notification. It opened a full chat thread. Scrolling felt like watching a car crash in slow motion. There were weeks of messages. Flirty ones. Inside jokes I didn't understand. Late-night conversations that lined up perfectly with the times she told me she was too tired to talk. Then I saw the part that broke me. Her I feel bad sometimes. Him? About him? Her? Yeah, but I can't just end it yet. I felt sick. She came out of the shower while I was still sitting there, staring at the screen. When she saw the laptop open, her face went completely blank. No shock, no panic, just cold. She said, "You went through my stuff." I asked her how long it had been going on, ... She didn't answer. She just crossed her arms and said, "I needed space. You wouldn't understand." I asked her if she slept with him. She hesitated. That pause told me everything. She finally said, "It only happened once, and it didn't mean anything." I don't even remember what I said after that. My ears were ringing. My chest felt tight, like I couldn't breathe properly. What I do remember is what she said next. She looked at me and said, "I didn't plan on you finding out like this. Like the problem was the timing, not the betrayal." I grabbed my jacket and left without another word. But the story doesn't end there. Because 2 days later, she showed up at my door. And what she asked me completely changed how I see people. 2 days after I left, there was a knock on my door around 9 p.m. I already knew it was her. She looked exhausted. Red eyes. No makeup, hoodie, I'd left at her place. If this was a movie, this would be the part where you're supposed to feel sympathy. I let her in. She sat on the couch and didn't say anything for a full minute, just stared at the floor. Then she started crying. Like, really crying. Shaking, struggling to breathe. She said she was sorry, over and over, that she'd been confused, that she never meant to hurt me, that she felt emotionally neglected, and didn't know how to communicate it. Then she said something that stuck with me. "I was lonely even when I was with you." That sentence hit harder than the cheating. She told me the guy meant nothing, that he was just there when she felt invisible, that she cut him off already. She even offered to show me her phone to prove it. I told her I needed time. That's when her tone changed. She stopped crying, wiped her face, looked me straight in the eye and said, "So what? You're just going to throw away 3 years?" I said I didn't know. She sighed and said, "I knew you'd do this." Then she added, "I guess I was right about you." I asked her what she meant. She said, "You always leave when things get hard." That messed with my head, because part of me started wondering if she was right, if I had missed signs, if I had failed somehow. Before she left, she hugged me like nothing happened. Long, tight, like she didn't want to let go. At the door, she turned around and said, "If you really loved me, you'd fight for us." That night, I didn't sleep at all. But the next morning, I got a message that made everything crystal clear. The morning after she came over, I woke up to a DM from someone I didn't know. It was a girl. The message said, "Hey, this is going to sound crazy, but I think we need to talk about your girlfriend." My heart dropped. I replied, "Yeah, what's going on?" She sent screenshots. It was a group chat. Her, the guy, and another girl. Jokes? Plans? Flirting? The timestamps went back almost a year. Almost a year. The girl explained that she'd been seeing the same guy casually and didn't realize he had a girlfriend either. Apparently, he told both of them that my girlfriend was basically single and that our relationship was on its last legs. Then she sent the message that ended everything for me. A screenshot of my girlfriend saying, "He won't leave. He's too attached." I just stared at my phone. All those talks about confusion, loneliness, emotional neglect, all of it was bullshit. I didn't reply to my girlfriend right away. I wanted to see what she'd do. Around noon, she texted me, "Have you thought about what I said?" I responded with one sentence. I saw the messages. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. She called me immediately. I didn't answer. She sent another text. "Who told you?" No apology, no explanation. Just damage control. That's when I blocked her on everything. Instagram, Snapchat, iMessage, even email. I thought that was the end. I was wrong. Because that night, I realized she wasn't done trying to control the narrative. That night, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Not from her. I had her blocked. But from people I barely talked to anymore. Old friends, mutuals, even one of my cousins. Messages like, "Yo, what happened between you and her? Why did you do that to her?" Bro, you didn't have to embarrass her like that. I had no idea what they were talking about. Then I checked Instagram from a burner account. She had posted a long story. Black background, white text. The kind people post when they want sympathy without saying names. She wrote about being emotionally abused. about being manipulated and controlled, about finally finding the strength to leave a toxic relationship. She never mentioned cheating. She never mentioned lying. But everyone assumed it was about me. ... People were replying with hearts. So proud of you. You deserve better. We saw the red flags. That hurt more than I expected. I wanted to post the screenshots. I wanted to expose everything, but something in me hesitated. Instead, I sent the screenshots to one person, her best friend. I didn't say anything, just sent them. 10 minutes later, I got a message back. I didn't know. By the next morning, her story was gone. So was she. She deactivated all her socials. And just like that, 3 years of my life disappeared without a real ending. Or at least, that's what I thought. It's been a few months now. No big closure talk. No apology text. No dramatic reunion. Just silence. At first, that silence felt unbearable. I kept replaying everything in my head, wondering how someone could share years of their life with you and then erase you like you never mattered. But something strange happened over time. The more distance I had, the clearer everything became. I realized she didn't just cheat on me, she studied me. She knew I'd doubt myself. She knew I'd try to understand instead of walking away. She knew I'd take responsibility for pain I didn't cause. And I let her. Because I loved the version of her I thought was real. The hardest truth wasn't that she chose someone else. It was realizing that if I hadn't caught her, she would have kept both lives going. Mine for stability. His for excitement. One night, I ran into someone who knew her. They casually mentioned she was already dating again. Like nothing happened? And for the first time, I didn't feel angry. I felt free. Because I finally understood something that would have saved me months of pain. People like that don't move on quickly because they're strong. They move on quickly because they were never fully there. I don't hate her. I don't wish her bad. But I trust myself now in a way I didn't before. And honestly, that might have been the point of all of it.